And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you this morning?
A little tired, Eric. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Yesterday was a sports lover's dream.
Wasn't it?
Right? What is it? What do they call it? The sports equinox or whatever the hell it is.
I believe they call it a sportsgasm.
That's okay. Well, of course, we get to the most base of terms on this show because that's what we do.
Right.
And actually the Chiefs game with the Commanders wasn't particularly interesting, but I mean, I paid attention to it because the Chiefs were playing obviously in the AFC West.
Yep.
But then as the night went on, I got more and more, of course, into the World Series. Game 3 rather was just an absolute incredible game. I've got to admit that I went to bed. I think it was the 13th inning had just finished and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yep.
I had just finished with the Nuggets as well,
yep.
who had a almost historic third period in taking care of Minnesota, who, by the way, I just don't like. Can we let's get our cards on the table.
Okay.
I don't like the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't like their imagined swagger, like they've done something somewhere, sometime in the NBA. I mean, I realize, look, I'll give them their credit. They've been a testy matchup for the Nuggets, but that's about all they've really done. Mm-hmm. That's about it. At least the Nuggets can say, hey, we had a parade. What have you guys had up there other than really cold winters?
And what's interesting is you are saying this, and Anthony Edwards didn't even play.
Didn't even play last night. Boy, I'll tell you who did, though. And Nikola Jokic had his best triple-double of the season. He started the season now with 3 straight triple-doubles, but he was really good last night. But Jamal Murray was next level last night. And you and I have talked about this a lot, and we'll get into it as the season starts to unfold a little bit more. He was, if Jamal Murray can be closer to what he was last night, rather than 16 points on 5 of 21 shooting, Jamal Murray, they've got a real chance. That third quarter last night was absolutely spectacular. One of the best quarters I've seen them play in a long, long time.
Jamal Murray's averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah, he so far so good.
Yeah.
I'll give him his flowers through 3 games. I think they've got New Orleans tomorrow. Then they play I think they're playing 6 of their next 7 at home, and I think their road game is at Portland.
Right.
They've got a real chance to heat up right here and get off to a sizzling start. So anyway, a lot of things going on.
Real quick. So Freddie Freeman hits the game-winning home run in the 18th inning. It's not the first time the Dodgers have won a World Series game in 18 innings.
No.
We know what Kirk Gibson did. There's something magical about Hollywood, apparently, when it comes to the Dodgers and the current lineup that they have. I've always said that Babe Ruth is the greatest team sport athlete of all time because he pitched at the highest of levels and hit at the highest of levels. Tony,
I hear you, dude. I appreciate your hesitation because you got to be careful about recentism. We're seeing something that we've never seen before because you and even I, as old as I am, wasn't around for Babe Ruth. I know others might, contest that when they ask me.
Dude reached base 9 times last night.
9 times.
9 times. They intentionally walked him twice.
Dude,
the base is empty. That is the last time that happened was Barry Bonds. And before that, I don't think anybody else.
Yeah. And not only did they walk him intentionally, they walked the go-ahead and winning run onto base. Think about that. They walked the winning run onto base and took their chances. It's remarkable. And he's supposed to pitch tonight.
Yep.
I mean, are you kidding me? But the guy is must-see TV. The World Series has been not good so far, but great. has been absolutely great. It's been good tension, good build to the climax. The whole 9 yards has been absolutely fantastic.
All right, let me ask you something. Your mom is a big Mariners fan. The Mariners almost made it to the World Series.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
If the Mariners would have made it, your mother would have been over the moon.
Totally.
How would she have felt last night if that was the Mariners instead of the Blue Jays in 18 innings?
Crestfallen. Absolutely crestfallen.
That's a ruin the next day type of game.
Well said. Well said. When you are, and I get it. We've talked about the difference that baseball makes because you're so invested for basically 6 months. Every single day you're invested in this team. And when the team, I'm not even going to say fails, but when they can't get it done in those golden moments, it does affect you. I mean, it puts you in a funk, man. It's not a good thing. She is enjoying the World Series for her love of baseball right now.
Right.
She's over. She's moved past the Mariners. She takes it for what it is, a fantastic season, getting to the American League Championship Series and getting to Game 7 of the American League Championship Series.
Right.
So, but, so it goes. But I don't know. You and I have said this to people a lot over the years. Even if you're not a baseball fan, like tonight would be a really good night to get into the World Series a little bit. Just go give it a shot, see what you come away with. I don't think that you'll be disappointed. The World Series is still great prime viewing. It really is. By
the way, so the Nuggets, nice win yesterday. Mm-hmm. They should have beaten Minnesota anyway, even though Minnesota's had the Nuggets number.
Yeah.
We already talked about Murray, Jokic having another triple-double. At the risk of complaining about a team that is, 2-1 right now?
Okay.
Where in the world is Cam Johnson?
Yeah, he hasn't done much, has he?
Much? What do you mean much?
And
that's insulting all people who have done much.
Christian Brown isn't off to a great start either. He had a good opening night, or good second night, I guess, but not was kind of average last night. I'll tell you what encouraged me a little bit last night, because I don't have an answer for you on Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
But Tim Hardaway was good last night.
Yeah.
Really good last night. And Watson was pretty good last night too. Mm-hmm. So you got two nice contributions off the bench. Valanciunas is going to be, I think he is going to be, he didn't do much last night, didn't have to do much last night, but I think he's automatic. I'm pretty bullish on the Nuggets right now, even after the loss to Golden State. You can see the elements, but to your point, you need to see a little more from Cam Johnson, who's done virtually nothing through the first 3 games. And Christian Brown affects games in different ways. He'll affect it offensively as well.
Right.
And Aaron Gordon didn't do much last night, and hell, he had a 50-burger in the opener. So,
Anyway, I want to tell you about Roller Auction, the leader in Colorado auctions for over 45 years. On Wednesday, October 29th, and that is coming up fast, like tomorrow, City of Aurora is having an impounded vehicles auction featuring cars, trucks, SUVs, 4x4s, trailers, and more. Online bidding has started at rollerauction.com to learn about upcoming auctions in which you can bid from your home. Go to rollerauction.com, get what you want at the price you want today at Roller Auction. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Smokin' Dave's Barbecue. It is not just the best barbecue in town, it is one of the best restaurants in town. You can find Smokin' Dave's Barbecue off 36th and Pecos.
This potentially for Pat Surtain could be out a while. Pec injury could keep him out roughly 4 to 6 weeks. Safe bet. This is a sprain or a strain, not a fully torn pec muscle, because
that's
if it
good.
was Bruce, it would have been season-ending surgery.
Yeah.
Surtain reportedly going in for a second opinion. With that, you sticking him on IR?
No, probably not.
Why?
Because I think based on what I'm hearing, is that there are people in the building that feel like this could be a 3-week deal. instead of a 4 to 6 week deal.
Yeah.
If he gets a second opinion and it comes back hard on the 4 to 6 weeks, then maybe that changes. I thought it was telling that they didn't put him on IR yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see what ends up happening. You could go either way with this one. They have an interesting stretch of, if it's going to happen, this isn't an absolutely horrible time for it to happen, in that they've got towards the end of the 4-week stretch, they get into they've got a kind of a mini bye, and then they've got their bye and stuff like that. They should hopefully be able to weather this storm. We're going to see a lot of Chris Abrams drain, over the next few weeks. And I thought the kid played fairly well in the second half in the game last weekend. But if there's any chance that they could get him back before 4 weeks, then there's no way they're going to put him on IR, even though it's going to create an issue with now they're going to get a spot with Atkins. It looks like Atkins is going to go certainly or worse. I mean, it could be season-ending IR for him. But they've got to find a spot now for Dre Greenlaw, who comes back is back on the active roster. So we'll see how that all plays out.
He's going to be missing the Chiefs game pretty much no matter what.
Yeah. I would not count on him being there.
Next game is against the Commanders. Just shut the guy down, man.
I hear you. That could very well be logical. Yeah.
Because here's the thing, okay? Let's say you're hoping for 3 weeks. Look at Dre Greenlaw. All you need is a small setback, and you wasted the opportunity to put another guy in your roster.
Yeah, I'd listen to that. Absolutely. All I'm saying is I thought it was interesting they didn't do it yesterday.
How good do you feel about the cornerback room without Surtain next 4 to 6 weeks potentially?
It's a hit. There is no question.
No question.
I mean that's a duh statement, for me to make anyway, because you're talking about the defensive player of the year and a guy that is one of the best corners in the game. So and it gives teams another target. It takes some pressure off of Riley Moss a little bit, because Chris Abrams' drain will get plenty of traffic. There's no question about that. But the depth, you can make the argument that this is a room made for this kind of challenge. Now, you'd rather it be someone else other than Surtain, but this is where your depth gets tested and your quality depth gets tested. Jahdae Barron and Chris Abrams drain. These are guys that have to step forward. Does Jaquan McMillan's role change a little bit? Maybe out of the slot. There are things that you can do creatively now to kind of cover that. But that's a hole, man. When you take Pat Surtain out of your lineup, that's a hole regardless of how good your depth is.
Okay, so let's go to the worst case scenario. Well, what if this becomes a problem for Surtain, nagging problem? Let's say he's out for the season. Sake of argument. Broncos Super Bowl hits take a major hit, small hit, kind of a hit.
I'm not sure where their Super Bowl
hopes
are.
Because that's what it is. Nothing more than
I hear you.
Hope.
No, it takes a hit. It takes a hit.
I know it takes a hit. Is it a significant hit? You lose your quarterback, you're screwed. I'm saying, is Surtain number 2 on that list, that if he goes out, they're in big, big trouble? Can one injury knock down all the dominoes?
Yeah, I'm not going to go so far as to say big trouble. I will say that it's a big hit. I think it's a big hit because anytime that you have a player that just by his reputation alone shuts down a third of the field or a quarter of the field, literally shuts that down,
right,
or can take away your best receiver, period. And it's proven. The metrics are there. Pat Surtain shuts down the other guy. That's just what he does. Yeah, it's big. It's absolutely big.
You know what else it does?
They don't have that kind of guy now. They
Tell
don't.
you what else it does. The pass rushers are going to have to get to the quarterback even faster now.
Sure.
Because with Surtain, that guy's pretty much covered. It gives more time to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the secondary that makes the pass rush better, or is it the pass rush that makes the secondary look better?
Well, that would be the argument, right?
Right. Well, you can argue. My point is, you can argue either way.
You sure can.
But you're taking out your main cog if you are arguing your secondary makes your pass rush better.
I will say it this way. You take Surtain out of it, it's worse than losing either Benito or it is because it is a different kind of skill. Covering is a different kind of skill than rushing the quarterback, right? They have guys that can rush the quarterback. Now, Nick Benito is next level, right? So Jonathan Cooper is next level, but you've got guys that can do it.
You feel good about Moss being on somebody else's number one until Surtain comes back?
I feel okay about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, as we've talked about, the dude's a dog. He shows up on every single play. He doesn't have that skill set, but he's pretty damn good. I mean, he's not an elite level of corner based on what we see.
Well, statistically, here, let me throw this at you, Bruce. Among 76 outside cornerbacks currently in the NFL with at least 100 coverage snaps, Riley Moss is the most targeted.
Yep.
He is third in holding down the quarterback's completion percentage.
Right.
He is third best in the league at 45%. That's what quarterbacks, that's their completion rate against Riley Moss.
Yeah.
He is sixth in tight window rate, sixth best in the league at his position, 13th in coverage success rate. With that, he does need to cut down on those pass interference calls.
Yeah, he gets a lot of PI.
And here's the thing. If it isn't for pass interference, those numbers spike.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's their next best option, and it's a damn good option. There's no question. But you're going to have to get a lot from those other guys. And I think they're capable. If you're going to have Pat Surtain out of the lineup for 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever the number ends up being, how good is it that Jahdae Barron is coming off a game where he had his first pick in coverage, for instance? You know what I mean? So Chris Abrams-Drain had really nice moments a year ago. He was really good in the game out in L.A. against the Chargers. It made a really key interception in a game that it looked like the Broncos could win. They ended up not doing it. But, I mean, so he's got to step forward. And I think that those guys will. There's a lot of confidence in that room and a lot of skill in that room. This is why you don't trade away cornerbacks. This is why you got to be when you hear rumors like Jaquan McMillan could be traded. This is why you just you just say no, don't even talk to me, because you got to have depth and you got to have talented depth in that room.
Right. Coming up after the break, Bo Nix had his best game of the season against the Cowboys. Now let's throw in a pair of fourth quarter comebacks against the Giants and the Eagles. And when we evaluate Nix, for lack of a better phrase, it almost seems like it has been week to week this season, Bruce.
Yep.
But now that you have looked at, last 3 games, specifically in the fourth quarter, has your opinion about Nix changed at all? Or is it exactly where it was before the game against the Cowboys? That's next.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Here's another great promotion from Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk. On December 13th, it's their annual holiday auction for a pair of Super Bowl tickets, tools, jewelry, electronics, toys, and kitchen appliances. Earn auction currency with every locked-up jackpot, players' points, or a daily cash drawing. There's so many ways to earn currency, and the more you play, the more you'll be able to bid and win what you want at their auction. So get up to Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos and start stacking your auction currency today.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
I think it's pretty par for the course that in any NFL city, unless you have an established quarterback who's really good or a quarterback who is not going to be very good, you tend to look at a potential franchise quarterback and evaluate that quarterback game by game early in his career. Is that an unfair statement?
No, I think you're right on target. Absolutely.
So with that, where are you today on Bo Nix compared to where you were before the Cowboys game? Has the meter moved at all on you?
I think it took a couple of ticks up. I mean, I think the arrow is pointed up more now than it was this time a week ago. You got to take that. You got to look at the whole picture and recognize, and we'll state a little bit of the obvious. How much better is Bo Nix with a really good, strong, consistent running game? And the answer is, as it would be for any quarterback, by the way, significantly better. So with that in mind, when this team runs the ball well, and by the way, they now have the third leading rusher in the National Football League, and I haven't checked the numbers this morning, but I would imagine their ground game is probably in the 4-5 range in the National Football League. They are proving themselves to be a good running football team. That gives Bo Nix, to me, a chance to really push the meter here over the next few weeks. But for me, and I said this yesterday, I'm not going to back off of it. He is on schedule. He does some really, really good things that make you say, damn, I'm glad this guy is my quarterback. But he still has moments of bad footwork. He still has some technical moments where he doesn't do quite what he would want to do with his feet and with the location of balls and stuff like that. But he's right, I think, where he needs to be for this football team to win games. And really, and you know what? I'll amend my statement. When you stop to consider his clutch factor this year, I think he probably would be maybe slightly ahead of schedule because clutch schedule is a totally different kind of spontaneous challenge for quarterbacks. How good are you in the moment that you need to be to win games?
Okay, let me cut you off here.
Sure.
So I'm going to give you a little pushback, but I'm kind of starting to ride in your lane a little bit with what you just said.
Okay.
Would you rather have Bo Nix quarters 1 through 3 with a really good running game, or Bo Nix in the fourth quarter with no running game? Because you don't really run the ball in the fourth quarter when you're that far behind. And so the reason why I'm bringing up this question is you said that he's much better with the running game. And you're right. All quarterbacks are better with a running game. But what separates him is if he doesn't have a running game, when they are in that fourth quarter mode, he's one of the best in the league.
Yeah, no question.
Currently, he's one of the best in the league if we take a snapshot of today.
Yeah. And I will always give me the running game.
Right? I agree.
Give me the running game, and then we'll figure out the rest of it. I mean, even though he has been far better late as a quarterback this year than he has been in the first 3 quarters, we've seen it in a couple of games now. In the Cincinnati game, in the Dallas game, he was good early in the Indianapolis game too. They had good offensive movement in that early on in that Indianapolis game. I think Bo Nix. I'll stick with it. I think he's right on schedule. I think it's safe to say, and this is assigning numbers to it, and shame on me for even doing it. He's a top 20 guy. I think right now, pretty clearly in the NFL. I think you could make an argument that he's probably a top 15 guy. You'd probably get some pushback, and there would be some credible evidence to push back with. But just from a standpoint of where you and I are, we see this guy every single week. We see this guy pretty much every single day. We know the things that he's doing from a leadership standpoint. We know what the type of guy he is in the locker room. So we get a little bit stronger peak than a lot of other people do. To me, Bo Nix right now is a top 15 guy in the league. That's where I would have him.
You are a guy who charts every play.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to go by memory because you didn't have a chance to look it up. It would not surprise me as you were sitting at the Fox 31 Channel 2 studios. You probably have your notepad in front of you.
Yes.
From the game.
I do.
Okay. Did you notice a lot of personnel changes, a lot of different personnel packages in the game against the Cowboys?
That I would have to check, but it was fewer than the game before. And I don't know the exact number, but it was fewer. I made note of that. It
was fewer. And I think that played a significant role in the way the Broncos moved the ball, where it allowed Nix to survey the defense. How many times did they even come close to a delay of game penalty?
Yeah. That was.
I know they didn't have one.
No, they didn't. No, they had no. In fact, they had no pre-snap penalties, did they? I don't. They had 2 penalties in the first half, period.
Right.
That's it. I mean, so there were no pre-snaps. Sean Payton said it yesterday, and he said it all along. And by the way, this is not just coach speak. This is what any good coach does. Any good coach is flexible enough to tailor their philosophy for the skill set of the player, especially a quarterback.
Right.
So Sean Payton, now you can debate whether or not Sean Payton is doing the right thing and debate and say, well, is this really good for Bo Nix? In his mind, it is, and he's the one that's with him every single day for every moment of practice. He is trying to put into Bo Nix a tried and true way to win football games. And frankly, they're 6-2. it seems there's some hiccups along the road and some speed bumps, certainly, but they had they played in clean air for 60 minutes last weekend.
I want to take a hard right turn here. So I know that this, maybe our listeners, viewers don't know this. I do a show on Guerrilla Sports with Nate Jackson, and I've made this comment more than a few times. Now remember, Nate is from the Bay Area. He is a big Joe Montana fan, and Joe Montana, you can still make the argument, is the greatest quarterback of all time. You can make that argument. I mean, he was nearly flawless in every Super Bowl that he played in. And oh, by the way, he won in every Super Bowl.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't blush making that statement about Joe Montana.
Just to include John Elway in this conversation, because God forbid I don't, in the greatest quarterbacks of all time conversation. In no particular order, you would have Brady, Montana, Manning, Elway. Okay. And I said this on the show yesterday with Nate. And after watching that Chiefs game, and I watch a lot of them just like you do, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback that's ever lived. I'm sorry. Peyton Manning could not do the things that Mahomes does, but Mahomes can do the things that Manning can't. Same thing with Montana, same thing with Elway, and same thing with Brady. The way this guy is so nimble behind the line of scrimmage with his eyes always up. I mean, he dances near that line of scrimmage almost every time he throws that ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
When he is scrambling, he makes throws that I've never seen any of those quarterbacks ever make. Now, if you want to argue, John Elway had a rocket arm. Okay. Great fourth quarter guy. But when you combine field vision, arm strength, knowledge of the game, athleticism, and stats, winning big games, who's fucking better? Honestly, I know that Brady won 7 Super Bowls. I get it. And Mahomes got embarrassed in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They played 2 defenses that completely wrecked him.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you know what? Peyton Manning played a defense in 2013 that wrecked him even worse than Mahomes was wrecked in both of those Super Bowls he lost combined. That stuff happens. It's just when I watch Patrick Mahomes, I've never seen anybody like him. Have you?
No. Although I will say this, and you bring up an interesting point. I would like to see John Elway and his skill set playing in the game today. Don't you think that'd be interesting?
Sure.
Big, strong, mobile.
Yep.
Rocket arm, great knowledge. I mean, he played in a different era.
Yep.
But John Elway would be the one guy that if you could take him out of his generation and there's a few guys, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see what Elway looked like in this day and age, because John threw a lot of interceptions. Interceptions were different then. They were rated differently. They didn't kill teams. You could overcome them.
Well, coverage was a lot different back then.
Totally. Absolutely. But Elway would be the one guy, because I always liked John. I mean, going back to college, I loved him in college. I mean, he took a very average run-of-the-road, middle-of-the-road Stanford team and made them a force. I mean, I saw him literally with my own eyes beat Oklahoma on the road in Oklahoma by himself. I mean, it was a stunning day. But your overarching statement, I don't push back on it.
Mahomes, when he scrambles, he dances.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of too many guys that can dance and throw or dance and scramble the way this guy does, with a completion percentage like he has, with the numbers that he has. He is such a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're just a straight up football fan, watching him maneuver yesterday, just like we've always seen him do this, it's breathtaking. The only guy who's come close here, Elway was mobile. Elway could run, but he didn't do it in the same way as Joe Montana did. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
Let's look at Joe Montana's most famous throw and catch. And no, it wasn't to John Taylor in the Super Bowl. It was Dwight Clark in the NFC Championship game. It's Mahomes can beat you running north or south and east or west. Elway wasn't an east-west guy, was he?
No, he was a north-south
guy.
Right.
And Joe Montana was not really a north-south guy. He was an east-west guy.
Very much, yeah.
Mahomes is both.
Well,
with his eyes always
open. Always open and down the field. And to your point, let's just describe him as nimble. He's the most nimble quarterback I have ever seen, and he never speeds himself up. You see some guys.
He did against Tampa. He had.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And it was a failure. Although, my God, I've never seen a quarterback run for more yards and end up with the stat sheet. I think he had 23 yards rushing or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
And he probably ran for 275 yards.
A lot of east-west.
A lot of, yeah, absolutely. Just trying to avoid. But Mahomes is different in that because of when we talk about nimble and he never speeds up. His process never speeds up. It's always calm. And he has the benefit of arm angles. I've never seen a quarterback, and it's the in thing to do now. Arm angles. Guys love to prove that they can throw balls at different arm angles. Bo Nix did it with the two-point conversions in the ball game against the Giants. He dropped down and basically threw sidearm bullets. The guy, and I'm not saying they do it just for the effect. There's a reason they do it. But Mahomes just can throw from so many different angles with his arm, but he never speeds it up. He always looks, even if he's moving out of the pocket, he looks as composed, approaching the line of scrimmage, making a decision. Am I going to run or am I going to flick the ball somewhere? He looks as comfortable in that decision as he did in the pre-snap. So he's a remarkable guy. And yeah, I would more than be willing to take on the argument that he's not the greatest of all time, because I think you can make that argument already.
And here's something else that translates to his football career. And I'm going to read you this quote. Patrick Mahomes has a photographic memory so clear that not only can he fully quote things that he reads, but he can tell you where the words were on the page. This translates to him being able to see snapshots from film when he looks at a live D pre-snap. That is the other big advantage that he has. It is my understanding Peyton Manning has a photographic memory as well. I believe the story goes when he came to Denver, I believe he asked someone in the Broncos organization for a media guide. And he just did this probably. And then he walked in the building. Hey, Bruce, how are you? I'm Peyton Manning. Hey, Jenny, how are you? I'm Peyton Manning. He remembered everything.
Yeah.
So when you take his great physical gifts, and I'm not saying Elway wasn't a incredibly talented quarterback. He's one of the top 3 or 4 most physically gifted quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Of course.
Is that fair to say?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It was a different time. Yep. And he was held back a little bit by Dan Reeves, where it was so conservative in the opening 3 quarters. And then it was Dan saying to John, go win it. Kind of like what we saw recently with Sean Payton and Bo Nix.
Right.
Very, very similar. Mahomes is the whole package. Just look at yesterday's game alone, the way he's zigging and zagging east, south, northwest, still running for, over 30 yards in the first half. Didn't run for any yards in the second half, but he just maneuvers. And then he maneuvers with his eyes. And, it was said on the broadcast, and it's so true. Look how complicated Andy Reid's offense is. Yet because of his mind, he knows where all those guys are supposed to be at that moment in time. That's why he completes passes. I'm sorry. Most quarterbacks can't. No quarterback can do that. Peyton Manning was a timing guy and worked on timing. 7.5 yard out route. Don't run 8, run 7.5. Tom Brady, ridiculous mind as well. But they didn't have the mobility that this guy has.
No question.
Joe Montana had mobility, but he was far from a guy who, it's 3rd and 10. It's a coin flip if he's going to get those 10 yards. Talking about Joe Montana. With Patrick Mahomes, you can walk away from the TV and feel confident it's going to be a fresh set of downs.
When you have a quarterback, and you just touched upon it, but when you have a quarterback that allows you to do the types of things that Andy Reid does with his offense, his pre-snap movement, the formations that they are able, I mean, you are painting on a much wider canvas than most quarterbacks can do.
When you watch a Chiefs game, do you see any offense that looks remotely close to that?
No.
And I'm including Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. I mean, Reid, you don't know where anybody is lining up play to play, especially with the motion. And the guy orchestrating all of it is Mahomes, and he knows where everybody is.
Yeah.
At all times.
Andy Reid likes to refer to Patrick Mahomes as a guy with fighter pilot vision. In other words, he sees everything is happening in full speed beyond levels that are beyond your recognition or ability to even comprehend. And yet he sees everything happening almost not in slow motion, but he's able to slow everything down. So he's got this incredibly frenetic canvas in front of him where things are happening, and yet he's able to focus. Think about the advantage that a player with his skill set has with that kind of mind. It's remarkable.
Here's a shout out to Denver sports fans who do not like Patrick Mahomes, and for obvious reasons, because he plays for the Broncos, arguably, excuse the pun, chief rival. But when you look at Mahomes as a Denver sports fan with the same eyesight, look at Jokic. And this is why I'm saying this.
Yeah, right.
There is Jokic fatigue to win another MVP. He's had 3 triple-doubles in a row.
Yeah.
Give any center in the league a triple-double today, and it's going to be national news. This is a ho-hum, another triple-double, and people are tired of, outside of Denver, they're tired of Nikola Jokic. And we can't understand why people don't see what we see. And in Kansas City, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't understand why we don't see what they see, because there's Mahomes fatigue, going deep in the playoffs every year, going to the FC Championship game, going to another Super Bowl. Enough of Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes and Jokic are the same guy.
Yeah. I'm a Red Sox fan, as you know, and anything Yankees I hate. It's a birthright, and it's just kind of how it is. But it was impossible for me to not like Mariano Rivera.
I was just going to say, if you're going to pick any player, I'm guessing that's the guy you'd pick.
Yeah, I could not.
Jeter as well.
Yeah, Jeter as well. Jeter as well.
You appreciate greatness, even though the guy's on the other side of the field.
Totally, you do. And there is nothing about Patrick Mahomes that, to me, isn't likable.
Oh, totally.
I mean, he's a likable guy. He's an undeniable, historic talent. We've just got done talking about it. That's the kind of thing that you have to respect, even if it's begrudgingly. You just have got to. But even if you get to the point where you can muster up a little hate, it's more for the Chiefs than it is for Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I mean, come on, let's face it. So, yeah, you give guys like that are generational, meaning they come around maybe once in a generation.
Yeah.
I think the comparison with Jokic is very apropos. I think it works very much.
Because it's fatigue. That's what
yes,
it's all about.
We should be
Tired of
able to relate to it here in Denver as well as any other place around the National Football League. I agree.
That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl, making the best possible day you can.